Today's video is all about Hela. Hela is a 6 power, 6 cost card that has an on reveal effect that says play all cards you discarded from your hand to random locations. So essentially, as you discard cards throughout the game, they will collect in this pool of cards that have been discarded, and then Hela, when she is played, will summon all of those cards to random locations on your side of the board. Insane effect, has crazy synergy with the discard package, and in general is just a blowout card. But I'm missing a few of the cards that I would put in this deck, so I'm going to show you the list that I have now with what I own, and then tell you a few of the cards that you should put in the list if you do own them yourself. But essentially, the premise of this deck is to discard a bunch of really good cards, and then summon them all randomly at the end of the game. So there's a few different cards that synergize really well with Hela. So I'm going to talk about one right now is Hela Carrier. You guys might not have this one. You don't need it for the list, but it is really fun if you do have it. It's a 6 cost 10 power. When you discard this card from your hand, add 3 random cards to your hand. So essentially you'll discard the 10 power thing, and you'll fill your hand with a plethora of other cards. They could be really good to discard, they could be not so great to discard, they could even just be good to play. You could even just get Hela again in your hand if you discard this early. That could happen. So there's been some crazy scenarios I've had hit with this, but in general, it's just a really good card to fill your hand with some extra targets for anything that you may need. But again, not a necessity for the deck. I fill in the top end with just Infinite because you're never really going to play him in this deck, but you would love for him to get discarded and played for free. And then I'm using Nick Fury here, who has an on reveal effect of add 3 random cost cards, 3 random 6 cost cards to your hand. Another shot to get Hela if you're missing her on turn 5, which is pretty good, but also just a shot to get some really big other cards that you could try to discard as well. But it's going to be turn 5 at that point, so you might not have that option, but you never know. If they're playing Limbo, if it goes to turn 7, if you have extra energy, you can play Nick Fury early, etc. Still just a really good card in this deck. He's a 7 power as well, which is solid. I'm using Ghost Rider here myself. He has a similar effect on reveal. He brings back one of your discarded cards to the location that Ghost Rider is on. It's more of a targeted effect, but if you say only discard 1 or 2 cards, by the time you play Ghost Rider, you'll know what you can bring back, and you can kind of count up that power and bring it back strategically. Really good card here. Then I'm using Jubilee because I do have kind of a large curve here, and I want to see Hela especially, or even Ghost Rider. This gives me another shot at pulling those later in the game, which is really good. But it also gives me a shot to pull the Hela Carrier, to pull Nick Fury on turn 4 to get my extra cards in my hand, etc. Really good card. And worst case scenario, if it doesn't pull one of the big things, it'll probably pull something that's going to discard a card for me, which is great, because we want to discard as many as we can. So then, as you can tell, I haven't really shown anything that discards yet, so I fill all that in with these early drops here. So I'm using Blade for a discard target, Colleen, who discards the lowest card, which isn't always good, but strategically can be very solid. Gambit, who discards a card and blows somebody up, which is great. Lady Sif, who discards the highest cost card, ideally not Hela, so be careful, but if you have 2 6-drop cards, you can still try to play her. And Sword Master, who discards a random card. Deck kind of all comes together. My friend Josh is a big Hela fan, so he is playing Invisible Woman in that deck. He suggested it for this deck. The reasoning being you can play a lot of your discard cards on top of Invisible Woman, so they don't get revealed until the end of the game. And then on turn 6, play Hela at this location as well. So you won't have risked discarding Hela throughout the game. And then on reveal, they'll get revealed at the end of the game, but in the order that they were played here. So say you play Lady Sif and then Swordmaster on top of Invisible Woman, and then Hela, you'll discard a card with Lady Sif first, then discard a card with Swordmaster, and then Hela will reveal and do her shenanigans of summoning everything out onto the board. So the deck is super fun. There's definitely some cards I would switch out. If you guys own Hellcow, he is a 4-drop 6 power who discards 2 cards on reveal. If you own Hellcow, he needs to be in this list for sure. You could take out Hela Carrier, you could take out Gambit, you could take out Ghost Rider. Any of those, I would definitely fit him in. Black Cat is another one she's a 3-drop 6 power. She's really good. If you have her, throw her in. And the last card I'd suggest is Moon Knight, who forces you and your opponent to discard a card, which is a really strong ability since discarding cards in our deck is what we're going for. Most opponents aren't going to want that, so you can hit some really key cards. That's the list. I'm going to go through and kind of show you guys some gameplay as always. Hopefully highlight kind of the chaos that Hela brings to this deck and to the game in general, and show you just what this deck's all about. Thank you guys for tuning in for the deck breakdown portion. If you're sticking around for the gameplay, that's happening right now. If not, I appreciate you up to this far. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. But hopefully, you're hanging out for some gameplay. Let's get right to it. Alright, we got Ghost Rider, Sword Master, Nick Fury, and the Infinite. Interesting. We're going to pass turn 1, obviously. Let's see what we got. Iceman comes down, hits Nick Fury, puts him back up to a 6 cost, which is kind of whatever. Alright, we're missing our turn 2 as well, but we do have Swordmaster and Jubilee, so that's going to be some solid couple turns. But Swordmaster could even hit something really good, and it would make me want a Ghost Rider. We'll see what happens. Alright, so Invisible Woman's a turn too late, so we're just going to go ahead with Swordmaster for now. He is filling up that location. Alright, Carnage makes a lot of sense, but he kills his own Daredevil, which is kind of nuts. He doesn't care what I have there. Alright, so Jubilee gets discarded. So if I play Ghost Rider, it will bring back Jubilee, which could bring back something else, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and just put Gambit on the right side here. He does reveal first, unfortunately, because I would have loved to just kill Carnage here. With Gambit would have been great, but we'll see what else. Alright, Green Goblin's going to come to my side, so I am going to get to kill Carnage, which is pretty great. And I'm discarding Invisible Woman, so not the best card to discard, but that's okay. Turn 5, I think I just Ghost Rider here. Play Ghost Rider on the right side. Don't want to play the Rock. So Ghost Rider is going to come out. He's going to summon one of the 2 cards that I had discarded to this location. Jubilee is the better card, so we'll get Jubilee out, which will pull out the Helicarrier, which is pretty great. Looks like I'm definitely losing the middle. He's pretty committed to making me lose the middle. So I have Hela, but the only other card I've discarded so far is Invisible Woman. So it's still a more power than playing just Nick Fury. So I'll go with Hela on the left. It's not going to be the most dramatic Hela I've ever played, but it's still 8 power. Not great, but we'll take it. He's playing Storm, and let's see. Can't imagine anything else that's going to help him win. Yeah, so we got the win. I mean, Gambit really was clutch there, killing an 8-power Carnage that ate 2 1s and a 2-drop on turn 3. That was kind of the big swing play there, which felt good. Ghost Rider felt pretty great. You know, pulling back Invisible Woman would have been okay, but pulling back Jubilee is actually, you know, it seems like you're only pulling back 1 power, but she's going to pull something from your deck that could be huge. So right there felt really good. All right, let's get some more. All right, Blade, Invisible Woman, and Nick Fury is not a terrible hand. I'm actually going to hold off on playing Blade just yet, because I want to play Invisible Woman first. I'm going to skip my 2. I'm going to go with Invisible Woman here in the middle. No particular reason, but put her in the middle for now. Scarlet Witch is going to change that into Washington, D.C., which makes the squirrels kind of boosted up. Not bad. Alright, Superflow doesn't do anything. So, I'm going to go ahead and play Lady Sif on the left. I'm not worried about hiding any of my discard things under Invisible Woman unless I see Hela in my hand. But I didn't want to discard Invisible Woman with Blade turn 1. So we got Lady Sif discarding the Helicarrier, which is great. We're going to get 3 random cards, so we'll have a lot of options. Deadpool, Sabretooth, not bad at all. He is snapping, so I'm going to go with Blade and Colleen. So Colleen will discard Squirrel Girl, and Blade will discard whatever the heck Blade wants to discard. Which is fine. He snaps. He's feeling confident. Let's see. Why is he feeling good? I'm not sure. He's played a bunch of 2-drops so far. So far they all have 3 powers, so maybe it's a Cerebro thing, but that would get screwed up by this giant squirrel, so I'm not sure. Not sure why he's feeling good. Alright, so we got Jubilee, and we've discarded quite a bit of cards. So I'm going to play Jubilee underneath Invisible Woman for now. So I'm going to do that. So she'll have the chance to pull Hela next turn. Which won't beat 14 power, but I need to win the left and right location. Well, we drew Hela. So that works as well. So we drew Hela ourselves, so I'm going to play her on the left, and she's going to summon some big things at the other location, so that's great. Let's see if it's enough power, though. So we get a Helicarrier in the middle. We get Nick Fury and a Squirrel Girl on the right, which is not the highest power. We win the left. I think we're going to tie the middle, and we're going to win the right, so that worked out. And he was feeling confident. I'm not sure why. He didn't seem like he had a whole lot going there, but we'll take it. We'll take the win with Hela there. Invisible Woman didn't really do much in this scenario just because I ended up not having Hela until the turn I needed to play her. So don't feel like you have to play all of your discard cards underneath Invisible Woman. If you don't have Hela, discard away. You want to discard everything you can. And by doing that, we got to play Hela Carrier and Nick Fury and all that. So that's a pretty good example of how the deck should work. Let's try to get one more, though. All right, we got Gambit, Jubilee, and Hela. And Blade. So we got to be a little careful of discarding Hela. Definitely can hurt. I'm going to play Blade anyway because I'm a little crazy right now. Throw him down on turn 1. Now, if I had Invisible Woman in my hand, I would definitely save Blade and not play him on turn 1. But he discards Gambit. Okay. Oh, but he got me with the Electra. Absolutely savage. Alright, when we play a card there, it's going to die, and we're going to get +2 energy, which I don't have anything to play on right now, which is a little unfortunate. He plays a Blade of his own. So he's got a lot of 1-drops. He's discarded Iceman as well. Well, we have a 3-drop. So we have a Swordmaster, so I'm going to go ahead and play Swordmaster on the left. And we're going to hope, once again, that it doesn't discard Hela. Kind of risking it a little bit. Played Lady Sif, which discards Ant-Man as his highest cost card in his hand at that time. So he's played a lot. So we discarded Jubilee and Gambit, which don't seem like high power cards for Hela to bring back, but they're actually very good if we can find Hela, though. So we got to get back to being able to find her. So I'm going to discard something with Lady Sif, either Hela Carrier or the Infinite. We'll see. And I'm playing her on the right side to get some pressure there. I'm only down by 1 power with 1 card on my side at all against the 3, so I feel good about that location. He's got Nightcrawler who could move into Altar of Death, which would cause him to win that location, so that could be good for him. We are looking for Hela for sure. I'm going to go ahead and play Nick Fury on the right. He will add 3 6-cost cards to her hand. It's not a ton of 6-cost cards in the game. A little bit of a chance we hit Hela. That'd be very lucky. And we have one last draw here to try to hit Hela as well. We got Destroyer, Null, and Chavez. Interesting. But we top-decked Hela. We love that. We love that. Love to see that. Alright, so we're going to drop Hela on the left. We've discarded some really good cards. So we've discarded Jubilee and, whatchamacallit, the Hela Carrier. Sorry, no, I totally lied. We discarded Jubilee and Gambit. Is that the only 2 cards we discarded? We played Blade as well. What else did we discard? We discarded one other card. Can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the Infinite. Perfect, with Lady Sif. This is going to be great. This is going to be very good. We should have this. Just, you know, it helps to have a good memory in this, and I unfortunately did not. So Gambit comes out, discards that. He's going to kill something, get me a bunch more cards, which is the most important thing. But we ended up playing Jubilee at the full location. Unfortunately, it would have been great to play her in the middle. Got a little lucky. I mean, he honestly could have moved Nightcrawler to the middle to win this. So this is a little bit of a lucky game, but also a little bit unlucky that all the cards I just summoned, none of them went to the middle location. This happens. When you're playing Hela, it's a little bit of a high risk, high reward type of thing. You don't get to pick where those cards go. So obviously I didn't need another additional 20 power on top of Adelan, but that's where it went. Anyway, that's kind of how the deck wants to go. Got a little lucky there with multiple factors. But anyway, that's kind of what we want to do. Discard the high stuff, let Hela bring it back, and let you just dominate some boards. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the deck. If you guys have any questions with the deck, leave a comment below. I'll answer anything. I'll help you guys make the deck with the cards that you have yourself, as always. And if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you liked about it, what needs fixing. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for plenty more content. And as always, keep on snap.